start saying Jiminey Cricket's Corner.
When you get in trouble and you don't know right from wrong. When you get in trouble and you don't know right from wrong. When you get in trouble and you don't know right from wrong.
Bitch, how motherfucker dare you come on? When you get in trouble and you don't know right from wrong, give a little whistle. Hey guys, it's been a minute, but welcome back to Jiminey Cricket's Corner, taking my own advice. So, I figured I'd come back real quick, had something I want to talk to you guys about, and to kind of build up some hype for me to start putting out some new episodes. But, for those of you guys who really do not watch a lot, or maybe this is your first time actually seeing the series, Jiminey Cricket's Corner, learning to take my own advice. It's just an opportunity where I can sit down, talk to you guys about some topics that I'm personally struggling with, or that people may have asked me to discuss, all the while, letting you know what I've gone through and what's helping me and what's not helping me and what I've learned through my life. So, before we get started, again, if you guys have not done so already, like, share, subscribe to the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, all of the above, so you guys can start seeing more of my stuff. But let's go ahead and get this on the road. Now, as I'm sure you guys saw by the title, this is actually going to be called Meeting People Where They're At. I want to first off start by saying that one of the mantras that I'm learning to live by, and this is a quote that I've actually coined or heard from my father, is that people show us who they are. We only get mad at them when we expect them to be something other than what they've shown us to be. And to me, there's just so many things about that quote and saying that ring so true when it comes to dealing with other people and what all they're going through. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those type of people to where I personally choose to see the best in people. Sometimes when maybe I don't need to, but I try to see the best in people. And I'm one of those who typically is going to be like, I want everybody to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And I think as I'm getting older, and a lot of the people who are the closest to me will tell you, is that I'm starting to recognize that maybe that's not necessarily how things are supposed to go down. Some people aren't going to always get along, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a reflection of you or what you can or what you can't do, but that it's just them as individuals and recognizing that you can only do what you can do. I bring that all up to say, a lot of times, especially going through what I've gone through with my vision loss and just my life as a whole, and wanting to be able to help people or have that experience with people, I'm having to also recognize that along with me doing my part of their part also is being able to bring to the table the willingness to want to accept that advice, or the willingness to want to be able to change or to better themselves. Some people aren't there yet. And it's a hard concept for me to grasp, I will say, but some people just are not there yet. And it's not to say anything is wrong with them. I mean, hey, look at where I came from to where I am now. A lot of that is due to age. A lot of that is due to life experiences and people that were involved. But at the end of the day, you have to take your own experiences into consideration as well. But I'm learning over time that it's one thing to want to help people. It's one thing to want to show them the way. It's one thing to want to encourage them and stuff like that. But like I just got finished saying, it's got to be up to that person to take that extra step to actually want it. Now, if they don't want it, this is where the topic of discussion comes into play. You got to learn to meet them where they're at. I believe strongly that typically when we develop our character and who we are and what we stand for and our code of ethics and morals and stuff like that, the developing stages of that are typically in your younger years, even your teenage years, adolescence, maybe even somewhat in your young adult years. But for the most part, when you become an adult, you pretty much have already set in stone who you are and what you believe and, all of those things. Now, that's not to say that you can't possibly tweak a little bit here or there, or some things may not take place to better your circumstance or maybe your outlook on things, but who you are, the core of what you believe and how you conduct yourself is pretty much set in stone. I think for myself, like I said earlier, a hard concept for me is learning and being able to accept the fact that, hey, some of these people may not necessarily be what you want them to be, or what you feel like they should be, or maybe they're not believing or conducting themselves the way that you conduct yourselves. Is anything wrong with that? No, but you have to learn to meet people where they're at. It's almost kind of like I have a group of friends, and a lot of times I pride myself in being able to say that whatever little bit of information that I can give them, or experience that I can share for them, or whatever the case may be, I feel pride in being able to say that, because then that goes back to what you guys have already known my main mission for all of this has been. And that's been to help that's been to help people. And when I can see that, and you get to see the growth, and you get to see people growing and becoming better, I feel like I've done a job well done. But unfortunately, those lessons, those experiences aren't meant for everybody. It's definitely a hard lesson for me to learn. I feel like this is a way, or this is in a way me giving up on that promise that I made to myself and God and all the people who surround me, or the promise that I said that I was going to do with all of my life experiences. But I'm also learning as well that you can only help those that want to be helped, and going from there. I don't think anything is wrong with being able to say that, hey, I enjoy this person for what they bring to my life, or what, I bring to their life. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to enjoy 100% of that whole entire person. We're all individuals, so there's going to be some things that you don't agree with, or that you do agree with. That doesn't mean that you can't be involved with that person. Take those things that you enjoy from that person, those good times, those memories, those qualities, all those things that you enjoy. But then those things that you may not necessarily care for, or those things that you may not necessarily like or want to be involved with, then you don't have to choose to deal with those. I have a good friend of mine, and I actually haven't spoken to him in a while, but his name is Charles. And although I've heard this phrase since he's told it to me, the first time that I could ever remember being told this phrase was by him. And if I butcher it, I apologize. But if I'm remembering it correctly, it's you never want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, or the dirty bathwater. And I guess that's essentially to say that if the person is providing something for you, or if that's a good person, or they're bringing some type of value or whatever to your life, just because there's certain qualities that they may have, or certain things that you may not necessarily agree with, does not necessarily mean that you can't have anything to do with them. Know how to carry them, know who they are, and then know how to conduct yourself accordingly. Again, in my opinion, I don't think that makes you weak or any less of a person by being able to do so, or choosing to be involved with somebody who maybe necessarily you don't agree with their philosophies or their ways of thinking, or their mind frame. All you're simply saying is, I enjoy the person for the person, and those things that I do enjoy, I'm choosing to be involved in those, and those things that maybe we necessarily don't agree on, we don't necessarily have to be involved with. People are going to be people. It's just as simple as that. And I think when we get to the point, and I feel like this goes out in so many levels to what is taking place, in our environment right now, in the States, the United States of America, that is. But again, people are going to be people. We have to make the conscious effort to decide if being involved with those people or dealing with those people is worth it. Humanity is a beautiful thing. I love the fact that I can be sitting here talking to you or talking to somebody else and recognizing that, hey, it's a whole nother perspective, a whole nother set of experiences, a whole nother way of thinking of things that doesn't necessarily line up with my own. That's how we learn. I may not necessarily agree with what you say or think or how you conduct yourself, but that doesn't mean I can't learn from that. And we all know, at least I personally conduct myself and say, hey, life is nothing but a series of lessons that you go through. And hopefully you learn from those lessons. And the funny thing is, life has a funny way of, when you don't necessarily learn those lessons, you may find yourself going through it over and over and over and over again until you get the lesson. So again, that was me venting. Hopefully, if you guys had some of the same issues as me, hopefully me kind of spilling my guts here may have helped you guys as well. Again, like I said, Jiminey Cricket should be coming back. For those of you guys who do follow, I am currently on season 4 of a talent show, which is actually getting ready to end here. So once the talent show ends, I'll actually be putting a whole lot more effort and energy and time into a lot of the other shows that I produce. And so, you know, just kind of going through that. But hopefully you guys are doing well, and you guys take care out here. Talk to you later.